um, applying some very, very simple principles to how we operate as a business. And I'm glad to be here, and I hope some of the lessons that we have to share based on our story and our experiences are relevant to you. So this evening, I want to cover three things specifically, just as a teaser, and looking forward to getting a little bit more in depth in each one of these categories over the upcoming days and weeks. So first, we'll just want to talk about, in this country, many of us are religious, whether it's Muslim, Christian, animist, whatever we are. We tend to spiritualize things a lot. And I wanted to share some principles from a Christian perspective, but it definitely applies to, again, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, whatever you are, about spirituality and actually adding value in the workplace. So that's the first thing I want to cover. The second thing I want to cover is actually about self-development and investing in yourself, and how important that is to any type of success. And then finally, I want to discuss very, very briefly about redefining success, and in a way that allows us to truly be more in more control over our destinies and understand what it really means to be successful. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk about what we call marketplace ministries. One of my mentors told me about this, and I did a little bit of research on my own, and I was actually surprised to see this. Many people talk about Jesus, and they keep Jesus in the church on Sundays. But it's crazy. In the Bible, Jesus appeared 132 times. First and foremost, he was introduced to everybody as a carpenter, not as a savior, not as a rabbi, not as everything, as a carpenter. So he had a trade, right? So there's nothing wrong. There's actually everything good in developing skills, tangible skills, and to trade in the marketplace with your value. He appeared 132 times in the Bible, and 122 out of those 132 times, it was actually in a marketplace context. You will see, and he was in the marketplace, and he went to where they were trading money. It was always the marketplace. It wasn't just in their religious home, whether it's a mosque or a synagogue or a church, wherever you do, whatever you go, right? So he was out in the marketplace. There were 52 parables in the Bible. 45 out of the 52 parables were about commerce and finance, right? They were in the context of the marketplace, trading. And then finally, there were 40 miracles in the Bible, and 39 out of the 40 all happened in the marketplace. So this is about, the marketplace ministry, whatever we're doing, whatever you're doing, whatever religion you believe in, whatever spirituality you practice, it should show in the work you're doing. It should show in the quality of the work you're doing. It should show in your integrity, right? Now, you have people that are, you will call them like entrepreneur. Hello? You have people, whoever that is, can you put them on silent, whoever's controlling the group? You have people called entrepreneurs. Like in the Bible, those are your prophets and your apostles, right? They see new things, they create new things. Oftentimes not really popular because they're going against the beaten track. They're just creating new lanes. They don't fall in line with everybody else. Your salespeople is what they were calling the church, the evangelists, right? They're able to send a message, they're able to spread a message. They're able to sell new ideas to people, right? Those are your evangelists. Then you have the shepherds. In the companies, you'll call them managers, right? They know how to shepherd people. They know how to organize. They're not creating new things, but they know how to make things more efficient. They know how to make people more efficient. They know how to organize and plan effectively. Then, of course, you have your teachers. And then finally, you have your pastors. Your pastors are actually like HR people. Like, there's some of us that all of our friends come to you to talk to you about some problems, right? In the marketplace, you may be fantastic as an HR person. So I'm sharing this first and foremost to begin with, to make it very, very clear. Not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. Like there's no pride in being an entrepreneur. There's no shame in being an employee. Everything that we're doing is just about adding value in the marketplace. So if we understand our skill sets, the apostles weren't more important than the pastors weren't more important than the evangelists, right? Or the teachers. Everybody had their place and everybody had their value to add. So first and foremost is us looking at ourselves and saying, what value do I have to have? Do I have to add? Where do I fit in? And the challenge is, somebody that could be a great pastor is trying to be the evangelist, or somebody who's a fantastic evangelist is trying to be the prophet or be the apostle, right? So it's like, understand yourself. Where do you fit in? And add value there. And so I'm starting at that foundation because the majority of Nigeria is Christian or Muslim or something religious, and it's incumbent on us, whatever we believe in, to exercise the skills that we've been blessed with in the marketplace. All right. So again, a whole different, we could delve into that later. But I'm going to put a stamp on that and move on to something else. All right. Now, this is about developing yourself, right? You are not going to make a bigger investment or a better investment in anything, whether it's any school, any certificates, than you are in actually the time that you spend in developing yourself, your inner capacity, right? And in order to develop yourself, the first thing is there's 3 steps in this. One, you have to really try to get to know yourself. Okay. So, I said it before, I'll say it again. There's no pride in being an entrepreneur. There's no shame in being an employee. It's really about focusing on where are you adding the most value? In what position are you adding the most value? That's where you really need to focus. And the more you know about yourself, the more in tune you are about in yourself, you will see that the most wealthy people are just focused on adding value. It's not about the title or the position. So 1, know yourself. The second thing is you need to really invest in yourself, right? You get a university degree, you don't get a university degree. I went to Stanford University. I don't know where my certificate is. At Stanford University, I realized that, and they've even taught us, your certificate is not what makes you valuable. It's the value that you're adding to other people that makes you valuable. So leaving Stanford, number 1 or 2, best school in the world, I realized that going to Stanford and getting that certificate doesn't mean anything. It's about what am I doing after that, right? And that goes into investing in yourself, understanding that nobody owes you anything, right? You went to school, you didn't go to school. It's irrelevant. It's what value can you add? So this also means that you could teach yourself anything. In any university you go to, you spend 1, 2, maximum 3 hours in any subject per week. You take that for a semester, they say you passed this level. So over the course of the semester, you've probably spent 72 hours total in class. So that means over the course of 3 to 5 days, depending how much you need to sleep, you can qualify yourself for any level and keep upgrading yourself. When I realized this, is one of my uncles who is a multimillionaire in dollars in this Nigeria. He started out picking up Coke and Pepsi bottles, 7-Up bottles, bottle caps, and going to go recycle them. He was the one that told me when I first came back to Nigeria, that he just humbled me and said, look, Stanford degree is great. Glad you came back to Nigeria, but you need to understand all that is irrelevant now. So he told me a story. He was a married man with children, and he was making money by picking up glass bottle caps and going to go recycle them. And he just opened my eyes to 72 hours is all you need to qualify yourself as anything you want to be. And that just really opened up my eyes to see, number 1, I'm not special because of my certificate. And then number 2, nobody can bully me with any of their certificates. Nobody can make me feel smaller. Nobody can make me feel less significant in any area, in any field. Engineering, medicine, lawyer, anything. If I can invest 72 hours of my time, I can qualify myself. Invest in yourself. Now, if you have a degree or you don't have a degree, and you want to do anything with business, there are 3 principles that you need to understand for business. Please, whoever's controlling this meeting, can you put everybody on silent, please? Just mute the microphones. 1 is basic mathematics. You could say accounting, but you really don't need to know accounting. It's just basic mathematics. Be very comfortable with basic mathematics. The second is the ability to read. And the way that many of us have spent so much time with our phone is actually doing us a disservice. We need to spend less time with our phones and more time in a book. Reading a book actually forces you to concentrate for a longer period of time. And if you want to do business, you will run into challenges and situations. And your ability to sit down in silence and think through issues will elevate you beyond many, many people. We started with 2,000 Naira. We've done hundreds of millions in sales. It is not that we're special. We trained ourselves to be able to think and solve problems critically. So ability to read and analyze things. And then finally, the ability to write and be understood by other people. Because the more you're doing, the bigger your organization gets. Or if you're in a big organization, if you can write clearly to be understood, you actually have more power, more authority, more leverage than somebody who can only speak well and can't communicate in writing. So basic mathematics, the ability to read and really understand what you read, and the ability to write to be understood by people. Those are the three, basics that you need to be able to build a successful business career in any organization or even on your own. And then finally is exercising intellectual sincerity. So we have know yourself. 2 is invest in yourself, right? Nobody owes you anything. You need to know how to, basic mathematics, reading and being able to understand, writing to be understood. And then finally, exercising intellectual sincerity. What does intellectual sincerity mean? Many people hide from the truth, from themselves. Intellectual sincerity means, you believe something today, you have seen or understood something differently. Intellectual sincerity demands that you now change your mind, even if it makes you look stupid. Even if you have to admit to everybody that you are wrong. Intellectual sincerity demands that you do that. Because here's the truth. The most successful people are wrong most of the time. They're just able to accept when they're wrong and make corrections fast. That's what makes them successful. And the mistake that many of us make is, we don't want to look stupid. We don't want to feel stupid. We don't want other people to think that we're stupid or think that we were wrong. So we try to cover up and cover up. And in that cover up, we're actually training ourselves to not be able to think clearly, to not be able to focus on the truth. It's those truths that make us better, that allow us to overcome obstacles because we've trained ourselves to see reality for what it is and be able to think and plan accordingly to overcome whatever obstacles are in front of us. So the ability to not have to look good and not have to sound good and to be able to admit quickly when we're wrong is intellectual sincerity. Intellectual sincerity also means sometimes you need to say things that can hurt other people's feelings. Sometimes you need to say things that is unpopular to everybody else around you, but it's the right thing. It takes courage to exercise that type of intellectual sincerity. But that's what we mean in self-development. Know yourself, invest in yourself, and then exercise intellectual sincerity. I'm looking at the time. Let me talk about health habits. So I'm just giving you a brief overview. Next session, we could go in depth in any one of these. Many of us are struggling and fighting and working so hard, and we're not making progress because we're not healthy in ourselves. So I'm going to talk about 5 health habits. Right? Number 1 is adequate sleep and rest. Many people feel prideful and think it's actually a mark of success that they can sleep 4 hours. I was like that before. It was actually a matter of pride that I didn't sleep more than 6 hours a day. I was sleeping 4.5, 5 hours for years. And I thought that meant I was sacrificing, I was putting in the work. I was actually being just less efficient. This is something I still struggle with till today. I fight to get at least 6 hours of sleep. My goal is to be getting up to 8 hours of sleep. Right? No matter how much, whatever machine you're using, insofar as you're a human being, you need time to be able to rest. It's actually in that rest and in that sleep that you recover brain function, you recover physical function. So the first thing about healthy habits, there's going to be 5 I'm giving you, is sleep and rest, right? At least 6 hours a day, ideally 8 hours a day. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2, eating the right things. If you can't eat organic and all this other stuff, at least cut out the sugars. Cutting out sugars and adding more water Those two alone will make you more healthy, right? Cutting out sugars and adding more water to your diet on a daily basis is going to make you more healthy. Failing to take care of yourself physically is an insult to our maker. We have one body, and especially if you're trying to do big things, you need to be physically healthy in order to be able to maintain the pace of drive and stamina to be able to accomplish these big things. So number one is sleep. Number two, eat well and drink plenty of water. Number three is exercise. Exercise at least 20 minutes a day. You don't need to go to a gym to exercise. You don't need to wear any special clothes to exercise. I exercise 25 to 30 minutes a day, including stretching. And it's just about making your heart rate go up a little bit and being able to wipe your head and feel a little bit of sweat. So that means the way I exercise could be too much for somebody else. It could be too little for somebody else. Everybody can exercise at their level per time. I do it the first thing in the morning, right? 20 to 30 minutes of exercise, including stretching every day. You don't need to go to a gym. You can do it in your bedroom. If you could do sit-ups, if you could do push-ups, simple squatting, bending down, standing up, bending down, standing up, jumping jacks. If you don't have jump rope, jumping jacks. You don't need any tools to be able to exercise. You don't need any weights. You don't need any special equipment. You can do all the exercises on your own. If you have YouTube, something very simple, you could just Google 7 minutes exercise. It'll give you plenty of videos, exercises that you don't need any weights for. You could do 4 minute weightless exercise. Different things like this that you could Google, and you'll be able to get an exercise routine. You download 3 or 4 videos. You'll be able to do that every day. You will see a physical change in your body as well as sharpness in your mind. Exercise. So we have sleep and rest, cut out sugars, add water, exercise. Number 4, spiritual time. Just time to be quiet. If you're going to read the Quran or read the Bible, read whatever, or just sit in silence for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes a day. But take time to be silent and just listen to your maker and just be at peace with your maker every day. And then finally, be intentional about giving your family and your loved ones time. I set a reminder on my phone to call my mother, to call my father. I set a reminder on my phone to send, I have 5 friends in this world. 5. I have many associates, many people I get along with, but I have 5 friends in this entire world. And I set reminders to call them, write them a message. The message simply of, hey, it's been a while. I was thinking about you. I hope everything's going well. Very, very simple things like this. The small investments you make in your friends. 1, it helps you become a better person, that you're not always thinking about yourself. Number 2, you don't know what anybody else is going through. But if you have people that think about you and appreciate you because you're not asking them for anything, you just appreciated them, you will be surprised the day that you may need assistance. There's those people who will be the ones that are by your side. So be intentional about investing in the few people who really matter. And don't say you'll remember. Write it down. Do a reminder. Invest intentional time with your family and the people who matter the most. Those are the 5 health habits. And then finally, I'm going to talk about just redefining success. Many of us think success is the outcome. Success is the process. It's a process. And when you know you're successful is when you feel at joy inside of yourself without anybody's approval. As I'm going into this, I realize that I'm going to need more time. I'll just share a quick acronym with you, and another session will delve deeper into it. It's the vowels, A-E-I-O-U. Just if you remember the vowels of the alphabet, you could remember that to define success. A is accept, meaning accept yourself. Nobody is perfect. You're not below anybody. You're not above anybody. You are great on your own. Accept yourself. Right? If you don't accept yourself, other people won't accept you. So what you're good at, don't put yourself down. You know, somebody says, "Oh, you're really good at drawing." You said, "No, I'm not." "Oh, wow, you're really good. You make people feel good." No. Accept what you're good at. Be able to tell other people what you're good at. When you're interviewing, many people make the mistake of being too humble, that people doubt their capacity. So it's not about being prideful. It's not about being arrogant, but it is about not being scared to communicate what you're good at, because you need to be valuable in yourself, and people need to see and know that you know your own worth before they can tap into your worth, right? So, A, accept yourself. E, encourage. And you have to first start with encouraging yourself. Before you can encourage other people, you need to encourage yourself. This encourage means like giving energy to yourself, giving energy to other people with your words and your actions, right? When you feel down, the best way to get yourself up, is not to talk to yourself, to find other people to try to get up, to encourage other people, right? So AE, encourage yourself, encourage other people. I means initiate. Be the type of person who starts things, who drives things, who is not waiting for things to happen. It's not about succeeding or failing. It's not the outcome. It's that you initiated the action, that you're not scared to get going, even when you're not sure you're going to succeed. That I for initiate. If you are known for somebody who initiates things, who's on the front foot, who is proactive, that's a mark of success. AEI. O, overcome. In this journey of success, you will fail often. So don't be scared of failure, right? Success is what do you do with the failures? It's not avoiding failures, it's what do you do with the failures? So when you fail, overcome says inside of yourself, you've told yourself that, yeah, failure is an option. It is. It's a reality that many of us are going to face. So, but I will overcome all my failures. Meaning you don't give up when you fail. When you fail, not if. If you want to be successful, you must fail. So when you fail, are you committed to finding a way to getting around and overcoming your failure, right? So overcome, AEIO, and then U is understand, right? Understand what? You really need to spend time understanding yourself. This takes us full circle back to, investing in yourself, knowing yourself, right? Not being scared to ask yourself why. Why are you even in this course? What are you looking for? Why are you doing the type of work you're doing? Why is it important for you to be an entrepreneur? Or why do you want to work at a certain company? Many people say, I want to make money. Sure. Why? Why is that important? The more whys that you can ask yourself, and the deeper you can get into yourself and really understand yourself, you're going to tap into a certain level of power, of energy, of drive that will make you unstoppable. And ultimately, if you accept yourself, if you can encourage yourself and others, if you are constantly initiating things, being a person of action, if you are committed to overcoming whatever obstacles you have, and then all that is based on a deep understanding of yourself, the result of that is going to be joy. It's not happiness. It goes beyond happiness. It will make you productive. It will make you useful. It will make you somebody who adds value not only to themselves, but to other people. And that's the ultimate measure of success. Sure, you're going to make money in the process. You will have deep and meaningful relationships. But all that will be the result of you being successful, right? If you follow this AEIOU. Thank you. I tried to squeeze in a lot in a very short period of time. This is what I have for now as an intro session. I'm not sure if it's you guys have any specific questions to go over about this, or if there was anything else I was supposed to accomplish during this time that I didn't. Please Whoever is moderating this session, please let me know.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Shay. Thank you so very much. We've gotten a lot of wisdom from what you have said. We're inspired, we're fired up, and we can't wait to have more classes from you. So we'd like to give, I think, sir, you can give the students a go ahead to ask you 1 or 2 questions before we head to this section. Over to you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Just unmute yourself if anybody has questions, or put it in the chat.
Alex, you are muted. Microphone, please walk to you. Kindly please ask the question. The question dropped for you already in the chat box. Ikoro Deborah sent you a question. Please, you can drop lovely emojis in the chat box rather. Drop a lovely emojis if you enjoy the class. If you have questions, please let's respond through the chat box. Please drop emojis, ask questions. We'll pick it up from there. Thank you very much. Coming in already. So over to you so that you can ask the question.
Can you whoever's line is late. Hey, I'm unable to see the question in chat. Can you just it just came up now. Okay, great. So how do I invest in myself? How do I invest in myself? Look, you being in this class is a form of you investing in yourself, right? You could be at a parlor right now. You could just be watching random YouTube videos, music videos. You are, on a Wednesday evening in a class listening to somebody speak. This is a form of investing in yourself. This is, a starting point of investing, listening to other people. Another means of investing in yourself, and this is one of my mentors told me, your first job or your first few jobs out of school, or even just your first few jobs in general, you should focus more on, who am I working for? Do I respect the person I'm working for? Can I learn from the people I'm working with or working for? You should value that more than how much are they paying. And it's not because money's not important. It's because, especially when you're starting out, your job is to learn. So many people make the mistake of, whoever's going to pay me the most, I'm going to go work there. They're not investing in themselves. They're just trying to make money. But some other people, they would even go volunteer. They would even go intern somewhere because of the people or the person that they'll be working with. They want to learn from that person. They're sacrificing today's money to learn certain skills or certain traits or certain qualities. That's a form of investing in yourself. Reading. Reading. Not reading romance novels unless you want to be a writer. Reading business books, reading psychology books, reading philosophy books to learn how to think, right? Reading psychology books to learn how to influence people. Reading business books to learn how to speak the business language. That's all forms of investing in yourself. I thought that was helpful. I hope it's been helpful. If I didn't answer that question, please, you can ask it a different way. Angela Class, Jole, thank you. I want to start a new career by learning new skills, but I'm scared that if it's the right part I'm taking or not. Though I have a particular career I've been pursuing, just looking for upgrade. Can you enlighten me more on this? Look, I would take this is understanding yourself. I don't know. Like, if you want, we could talk offline, and if you have, like, you could tell me a little bit more about your specific situation, and I could speak to that. But what I'm going to tell you is more general, so admittedly less effective because it's so general. However, what are you scared of? Is it that the new career, like, why do you want to get into a new career? Is it that there's more money there? Or is it that that's actually what you should be doing? Are you good at what you're trying to get into? Could you be great at what you're getting into? Or are you just bored with what you're doing? So the next steps really depends on, like, why. I just want to have it like an added skills. This world values people who are great, like who are exceptional, who are excellent. So if it's like, look, I just want to learn many, many different things, and you're very, very young, yes, do it. Learn as much as you can. Wherever your interest takes you, do it. However, if you are now you have a specific goal or a specific target in mind, I just want to have it like an added skill. If you're decent at many, many things, you're not going to make a lot of money, right? You could be decent at many things, but you have to be exceptional at one or two things to be valuable. And it's only valuable people who, get valuable money. And it doesn't all boil down to money. However, there's a way that you could add a lot more value if you have more money. So this other thing that you want to learn, is it to rounding out your skills to help you become great at something specific? If so, great. It's like laying a wider foundation to build a house on, as opposed to a narrow foundation. But again, if I don't know your specific skill sets now and where you're trying to go, but I really hope that was helpful. For me, and these things I just want to be helpful. So if that doesn't move you forward in any way, you can ask another question, throw another question out there. I'll be more than glad to answer. Aspiring HR. I would, as an aspiring HR, there's one book called Powerful by Patty McCord. The book is called Powerful. It's an amazing book. But in order to be a really effective and productive HR, you need to understand business. You need to understand business, because if you could speak the business language and you have a heart for people, you could be extremely powerful and valuable in any organization. Data analytics. Data analyst is a good title. If you can think clearly, you can analyze data. That title, data analytics, is less and less meaningful. It's really, can you think analytically? Can you look at a big problem, break it down to small little steps, and think critically about how to get to a desired result? And so you could take a data analytics course. Like, it's not bad. But the purpose behind those courses are like trying to teach you how to think in a more structured manner. You could read philosophy and get that. You could start writing. And when you write something, you try to explain something to somebody, you write it down. If they read it and they don't understand what you're saying, it means you didn't write clearly. The more, the clearer that you write, it suggests the more disciplined you are in your thinking. And all this data analytics is, trying to make sense out of numbers, trying to tell a story out of something that just looks disjointed, looking for patterns. That's the analysis. And there are many ways to train your mind to do that. Reading, philosophy, data analytics courses, mathematics, physics. I'm very much against doing things for certification, and very much about doing it to gain real skills. So if the data analytics course is something that's challenging you mentally and you feel yourself growing because it's hard on you mentally, that is a good investment of time. It will help you. Now, if you are supposed to be a artist and your mind is thinking differently and you're now trying to just get basic data analytics down, depending how old you are, it may be more valuable for you to just become even better at your artistic talents and shine there, as opposed to being decent at arts and being less decent at, analytics. You want to learn data analytics to be able to make better decisions. Read more, think more. Read. You'll see. You don't need to take data analytics just to learn how to make better decisions. You need to practice making decisions. Review when you fail at decisions. When your decision turns out to work, think about what is it that you understood that allowed you to make the decision to make it work out the way you thought it would work out. And you'll be teaching yourself how to think. All right, we got a couple more minutes if you guys want, and then I gotta run by 7:45.
All right, thank you so very much for this amazing class. We really, really are grateful. We have learned so much. We have gotten so much. We are elevated. We are wiser than we came. And what we have to say is thank you so much, sir. So if anybody has more questions, they're going to be sending it to our chat box in our classroom on WhatsApp. And we'll be you in the next. So thank you so much, sir. I think this is important for today. We're really, really enjoying class, and we're more than grateful, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Right. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.